We'll call this our tailgate tune-up series. I don't know what else to call it, but we're on a tailgate because we don't have a workbench at home. But we have a STIHL. It's your classic KM131R. Reminds me of a great pirate joke. Runs fine, no issues with it. It's just been neglected for a couple years, we'll say. And by neglected, I mean just no maintenance. No nothing. We just gas and goes. Went to STIHL, local STIHL dealer. Grabbed this. It does not cover the KM131R according to the label, but the part numbers that are in it are all the part numbers required for this machine. So air filter, fuel filter, spark plug, which is a Bosch unit. We'll pop this apart. Interesting machine. So it takes, attachments. You can do the weed whackers, pull saws, everything just screws on the end. If you have one of these, you're familiar with it. So they're super handy to have. We use it for, clearing off our, keeping our trails open up with the brush cutter and stuff. So it's very handy. I really enjoy this thing. It keeps you from having a whole bunch of different engines to take care of, I guess. Not trying to sell you on one, just telling you what I do with it. So we'll pop it apart. Here's our little cover. This is the tool that comes with it. I do not have service info for this thing. I do have the owner's manual. I don't know if any of this is in it or they just tell you to go to your authorized STIHL dealer. But my authorized STIHL dealer is also the one that assured me that this is not a 4-stroke. It is 100% a 2-stroke. No cam, no valves, no nothing. Plain old 2-stroke, because they run and sound like a 4-stroke. Clearly have a valve cover. Anyhow, here's our air filter. See how oily and due for service. I think what I'd like to do as well is pull this plastic bit off here, have a look, because I see the carbs looking all gross, but like I say, it's been a lot of years. I am quite conscientious of keeping fresh fuel in it, even throughout the winter time. Looks like we have a couple screws here in the front. Take and pop that one out, and we'll pop this one out because we want to have a look at the spark arrestor, because this still, despite having potentially working like a 4-stroke, still takes mixed fuel, gas and oil. 20-to-1 ratio, something along those lines, or 50-to-1. 21 would be a little rich one. 50-to-1. Now, whatever the little premixes are you get for a gallon. Actually, there's a crack in it, but it's still holding up pretty well. So yeah, everything's kind of oily here. Yeah, the gas lines are starting to get a little bit hard. I probably should have grabbed some fuel lines when I was there as well, but I didn't. It doesn't look terrible for a lot of years accumulation. We're going to just clean that off and blow it out. I think I'll probably do that before we put new stuff in. Just wanted to look at the spark arrestor here. So these screens, particularly after they sit over the winter, you can get little mud daubers in there. I guess they are. Yeah, I don't know why they like to build their little mud nests in there, but they'll plug these suckers right up, or they'll oftentimes get plugged up with, 2-cycle oil, kind of caked to the screen. That one looks pretty clean. I think we'll leave the exhaust right on. But it is pretty peculiar to me. I've never never popped this apart, but I've always thought like anybody has one of these that runs it, you can tell like this is not a 2-stroke. It runs and sounds like a 4-stroke machine. But if that's the case, how do they lubricate the bearings in the crankcase? Are they a sealed bearing on the crank? It's the only thing I could figure, because this has to have valves in it. Oops, a little washer there. crack open a gasket. We don't have a gasket for it. That's the cutest little thing. Look at that little thing. I'll be dipped. So that means we have a valve adjustment spec as well? Now you can't get a feel. You'd have to have a pin gauge to get in there. Sugar. Well, we don't want to break our valve cover gasket. Cork, oddly enough. Look at that. Would you look at that? How on earth do they... I better go break out the man. Dude, this thing doesn't run on oil, does it? I'm just kind of curious. Like, it just baffles me that... Dude, I'm going to be super embarrassed if this thing has crankcase oil, because if it is, it has been a long time. I should go see if I can find the book. That's kind of neat. I wish that STIHL store was still open, but they went out of business. Because I'd like to go down and share with them the fact that this obviously has a cam, push rod, and valves. However, only runs on 2-cycle oil. Very interesting. Doesn't look like there's much more. We can pull that bottom plastic off. Let me go grab the book. I feel like a real ding-dong now. So looking at their maintenance, there is a valve clearance. Says if power is low or cranking effort very high, have valve clearance checked and adjusted by your servicing dealer. Center fins, cooling inlet, carburetor, fuel tank, pickup body, and fuel tank. This all have done by your dealer, so they don't want you to do anything yourself. So that's interesting. I really wish STIHL had like breakdowns online, because everything else is just stuff we're doing, just plug air filter and you know, spark arrestor. So that's kind of peculiar. I don't know how they lubricate the crankcase, cam, and you know, bottom half of the engine. You know, if it utilizes valves. You know, I don't know if any of the mixture goes into the crankcase like a typical 2-stroke. Man, I should have never tore this apart. It's literally going to give me anxiety now. Anyhow, let's just do what we came to do. We always take stuff to the stupid level. But that's really, that really bothers me. And it's embarrassing that I've, you know, never really put much into this. You know, pull the cover off, pop a spark plug in and an air filter once in a while. There's the OG NGK. Part number is a Charlie Mike Romeo 6 Hotel, if you're looking for one. So easy peasy. Here's the top of that piston. It's absolutely mirror shiny. I mean, we could spin it over to verify that it is actually 4 strokes. Or we could probably just watch somebody else on the internet that knows what the heck they're doing too. Runs like a boss. I've got no issues with any of that. Grab our little spark plug here. It's a Bosch that comes in the kit. Number on this one is a Uniform Sierra Romeo 7 Alpha Charlie, made in India. Okay, little tiny spark plug there, cute little guy. Has a washer on it, so we'll bring her down till she hits, and probably like 3/4 to a half a turn from there. So there's where it touches. There's a 1/4. There's a half, and feels tight. Pretty standard procedure there. That feels pretty good. I'm going to look inside here. Our fuel filter is dangling over there. I don't know if we can snag it. See if we can do it without dumping out all our fuel. Probably can't. Maybe we can. There's the bottom of it. Whoops! Good thing I'm not a brain surgeon. Whoops again. I don't want to squeeze it too hard, but I'm gonna. I put that in an approved container, don't worry. Snake it down there. Come on, little guy. If you guys are longtime followers of Chicken Nick, you're not going to want to watch this guy. There we are. Out in the open. We have our new one. Off with the old. In with the new. Back into the clean fuel. I'm going to hold the old fuel air filter over this. I'm going to blow some of this junk off so I can keep track at which rate it accumulates. This could be just years of accumulation, or it could be the fact that we should have bought some fuel lines as well. So I just went and just blew it off, blew all the junk out of the cooling fins, blew all the stuff out of the fan here on the front of the flywheel. I'm sure that's utilized to move air, you know, back across the cooling fins and, you know, out the back of the case as well. The spark arrestor does look clean. I don't think this is the correct size. It is not. Let me find some. We'll just pop it out. It does look clean, but if it turns easily, we'll take and slide that little guy out of there. Whatever system they have for making a four-stroke, two-stroke unit works. Because I have never had a lick of problems with this thing until now, until we start fiddling with it. What the world? Let me get a little pick. Let me get underneath this thing. Grab it with a little pair of pliers and slip it right out. Clean as a whip. So you gotta make sure those little guys stay clean. It slides into these grooves. You're one groovy chick, man. So it just slips down in there. I just picked it up with a little pick. Made in Germany. White, W-I-T-T-E. We'll line that back up and then we'll stick the screw in there, which just pinches the edge of it. And we'll be using our Proto flathead screwdriver. Go ahead and pick on me now, guys. Everybody picks on my at-home tools, but every once in a while we break out the good stuff. And if you need to take the muffler assembly off, the two screws straight down in there, utilizing the Torx, which looks like a T, I don't know, 27 or 30 maybe, or 25, hard to say. I think that's it. We came, we saw, we conquered. I believe the next time that we do this, we're going to be purchasing some fuel lines, probably some stuff for the carb, kind of reseal that. But we got it cleaned off for now. We can look in there after. Well, let's be realistic. We're not going to look back in there until we take it apart again. We'll stick our new air filter in there prematurely. Oh yeah, can we determine if it's four-stroke? We probably should have done it with the spark plug out. Let's see, we can feel the compression stroke. Okay, there's compression. Let's make a little mark here on our flywheel and put a little scratch on it. So that's compression. Rolled over compression. Our mark's back up. I can't tell. I really want to know. It has to operate and function like a four-stroke. I mean, it has valves, but it could have some crazy cam profile. I just want to know. I know we're hitting a stupid point, but I gots to know. I gots to know. Okay, let's see here. Intake, or that's exhaust. Let's see. Piston's up, so piston's going down. Intake valve. Intake. Piston's coming up. That's compression. That's power. Now our exhaust valve's going to open right now. Coming up on exhaust. Going back down on intake. Coming up on compression, spark plug sparks, we're down on power, piston's going down, coming back up on exhaust. I'll be dipped, she is a 4-stroker. Ain't that neat? We learned something. It's a 4-stroke 2-stroke. It's a 4-stroke that runs on 2-stroke gas. And I have absolutely zero idea how it lubricates the bottom half of the engine. And that's what I'll need to know. If it is a sealed bearing unit assembly, it can't be, because I mean the top end here obviously has some oil all over those push rods and over the rocker shafts. I wouldn't think that it's permanently lubricated, because what happens if you get a leak in the crankcase or a leak in the valve cover? Then what? Go till she blows, I guess. I can wipe some of this crap in. It's just gonna get dirty again. I should call and ask my new local steel dealer, but I'm not so sure as if they work on them there, to be honest with you. That's just a rental place. They do rental stuff and they sell steel equipment, but I don't know if it's part of their franchise deal that they have to have a mechanic. And why have I never pondered this before? But I know one thing is, if the answer is on the internet and it's on the YouTubes, I will learn from the comment section, which is like the most awesomest thing about the YouTubes, is that people leave comments. I mean, they leave stupid comments, don't get me wrong, but there are a host of you that are very intelligent, know this stuff inside and out, work on this stuff every day, and know the answer to my question. But chances are, by the time you leave the answer, I'll probably have already looked it up. But maybe I haven't. Not that I don't want you to comment, but definitely, if you know how the lubrication system in this bottom half of this thing works, it can't be any type of sealed unit. I mean, you can run these things upside down, just like any, 2-stroke, upside down, sideways. They're meant to run like a pole saw. So this thing, you're running it like this, in this position, you're running it upside down. How in the world, how does it lubricate that bottom half? It must have a gas channel, from the carb. Perhaps it still has some sort of intake port in the cylinder, would be my guess. That's what I'm going with. That's my guess, is it shares across the valves, and still has an intake port. I don't know. I guess what we could have done, we could have pulled the exhaust off to see if there's an exhaust port, or if the exhaust is only controlled by a valve. I have too many questions. I don't even know if I can mow my lawn anymore. See, it's a one-start wonder. Used to be. There it is, folks. I guess if you're doing basic maintenance and you really don't care about anything that we now wonder about, that's it. Doing the air filter is super simple. You can pull this off, change it. You can pop the top off, change your spark plug, pull this screw and these 2 screws out, pull the cover off to get to your spark arrestor. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to do that, because they put a very convenient hole right here. If you have the proper size screwdriver right through there, don't even have to take the cover off. If you're doing your fuel lines and stuff, you take it the rest of the way apart. It looks pretty simple to to tear down. So that's it. It's just something I had to do, but now I've left you with probably as many questions as I have. So thanks for watching this little bit, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Sorry I don't know anything about what we're showing.